All right, welcome to the MMA Fight Game Podcast Alternative Studios. I am very excited to have these two gentlemen who I've been chasing for a very long time to get on an interview. Starting on my right is coleyoung. He is a power slap athlete. He is currently ranked number 4 in the world in power slap. If you don't know what power slap is the newest combat sport that Dana White and his crew with President Frank Lamancella, Erica, who is the matchmaker, have started. They have a massive bout, which, by the way, if anybody's listening, I am trying to get a ticket to this show so my girlfriend gets really mad at me in Las Vegas on July 7th at the UFC Apex during the massive fight week for UFC 290. He is also joined. I had his head coach, his trainer, his confidant, hosscoates, who is the ISKA head director, head coach, also the head coach of a powerful MMA gym in Hornell, New York, in hosscoates. Gentlemen, thanks for joining us. How are you?
Doing great.
Good. How are you?
Awesome. Cole, you got a massive following, a massive buzz after that prelim bout on Power Slap 1. It was an exhibition fight, but boy, did that go viral. Looking at it today, and I shared it from Dana White's, but over 5.2 million views. That is one of the things that UFC president Dana White is going after, are those views, those viral knockouts. Talk to me about when that video was posted. What happened then?
So I was in Nebraska. I was on a hunting trip when that video got posted, and my phone just blew up. Like I couldn't get on my phone. There were so many notifications, and there's a lot of hate and a lot more love though. And it was awesome. I've never experienced anything like it.
Yeah. And you said hate. Why is it hate?
Well, once you watch the video, people go to my profile and they check it out. They see I'm a hunter. There's a lot of people who hate hunting that don't understand it. So a lot of that, and then there's just a lot of controversy over the sport itself. I mean, a lot of people think it's a dumb thing they're doing there.
Yeah. How did you find it? How did you get involved in it?
One of our ex-teammates that used to train at this gym, he was talking about it.
Dwayne
Crespo. And I don't know, I started watching it after he was talking about it, and I'm like, man, that's something, I could do. And I seen some of the guys in my division, and I'm like, I'm not worried about any of them. So I just went right at it. I sent in an application. He put a word in for me, and I went to that exhibition and I got that knockout.
Yeah, and you're a former, or I don't know if you're a former, but you're a former mixed martial artist. You fought on a promotion that I work closely with, Full Contact Promotions. Is MMA a thing of the past, or in Power Slap is full time because you're a professional? What's going on?
For sure, and that's another reason that I joined Power Slap, because there's just not as many hours in the day that you need for power slap training. When it comes to a fight, kickboxing, just regular MMA, there's a lot more hours you got to put in. With my son and with my own business that I own, that I run, there's just not enough time. So power slap was like, it was meant for me.
I can give him a training regimen and he can go home and do it pretty much. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and homework. So let's talk about that, Haas. You're the coach. Power slap's a brand new sport. There's really not technique. Is it a lot of trial and error, or is it more you kind of have an idea because you're watching others, or you're just trying to grasp, hey, this sucks, this is great? I mean, I coach CrossFit, so sometimes workouts suck, they work well, sometimes they don't. Is it really a trial and error? Like, how did you become to help Cole train?
So one of the things that I do here is that my gym's basically a freestyle gym anyway. You know what I mean? It's more style bending than it is a traditional martial arts gym because, everybody has different swings anyway. So what we're trying to do with even all the athletes that I train in kickboxing or MMA, in the striking world of what I teach and coach, it's to generate as much power with the agility that one person has in their body. You can have 3 different people. They're all going to have, if they're all golfers, they're all going to have a little bit different swings. That's kind of what we teach here. In translation to that, I think it translates from trial and error, right? I mean, like, okay, do your hook like this, do your hook like this. Wait a minute. Okay, we're not generating the right power here. Let's tweak and adjust, tweak and adjust. It's the same thing in MMA. I mean, same thing for kickboxing. And when you're going through people's fundamental techniques, you're just trying to be, mold them into the fastest, most agile, most powerful human being that you can create, right?
Yeah.
It's the same thing. It's the same thing. I mean, we've adjusted Cole's swing here and there. We love the torso explosion that he has. The thing now is we're gonna tweak it a little bit more so we can get a little bit more power involved. I mean, you got speed, you got power. Now we got to work on a different part of this. I'm not going to go completely into it because
I don't want you guys to give any training secrets that you guys are doing besides what's out there in the general public, because it is a new sport. I am brand new to the sport. I'm going to be really honest with you guys. I mean, I love Dana White. I love the UFC.
I don't know how I got here. So
yeah,
I'm just here. Look at, hey, I'm still a cheerleader with pom-poms on, hoping my guy knocks the other person out. Regardless of what they're doing, I just get behind it. So
yeah, absolutely. Now, Cole, like in that viral knockout that you had from Power Slap 1, I know that you're a former baseball player. You hit with your right hand, right? Now, the follow through, was that almost, did you throw, I think it's like almost like a screwball. When you followed through, it came through like a screwball, like how you throw a screwball playing baseball. Did you throw a screwball in baseball?
No, it's funny you say that because everything we talk about in here, we reference baseball and softball, like how we throw. But no, it does look like that though, because my hand twists right at the end, right when it snaps. So, and that did the trick.
Believe it or not, when you're standing there and you try to smack something and kind of do like this, it actually, if you don't turn your hand over, you're not, it's the same thing as
a hook.
It's a hook. Yeah. It's literally a hook. So it's just, the hard part is the feet. And he didn't really have any problems with that till the last time.
Yeah. Which was very slight. And obviously I'm uneducated in this. I'm
uneducated, so
yeah, I don't want to talk like I know what I'm really talking about, but I saw some other fouls, and I know I woke my girlfriend up when I saw you get that point. I was like, what the fuck?
You don't have to be a genius to see that. If I was called, then everybody else should have been called. But it is what it is. I'm glad it turned out the way it did because I learned a lot, and I'm using it as fuel.
Yeah, and talking about that, using that as fuel, there are rumors on the street. Obviously Dana White announced the show. It had come out on Slap News. Some other friends of mine had mentioned the 7-7 show. Then I saw the picture of you potentially in the co-headlining slot on that July 7th. Is there anything that you can confirm to me right now without getting in any trouble about that bout?
I haven't been told anything. So like about that, like when they posted that. So what I'm guessing is nobody's defending their belts. That's my guess. So that's why all of us are on there. They're all contending fights. So pretty much the winner of all those 4 pictures you seen there are probably gonna be fighting for the belt.
And who was pictured next to you? Because obviously you're number 4, and I don't know the guys like I know MMA guys or even your team at Vicious Elite. Who was pictured with you?
So right next to me on the right was Azael Rodriguez. He's in the middleweight. And then on the top left is Austin Turpin, who's a good friend of mine. And he's a killer. I think he was fighting heavyweight. I think he might be going down to light heavyweight. And then the top right's Dorian, and he'll be. Should I be telling who he's fighting?
I would wait.
Yeah.
Just so we don't cross board certain things. He
Yeah.
gets it. He knows.
But yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we know who he's fighting, but it should be interesting.
Now the question is obviously you have International Fight Week. I don't know if you gentlemen have ever been out to an International Fight Week for Vegas. I've been going out there since UFC 100 when they came out, when Kimbo Slice was still alive, rest in peace. And it's massive. But the question is how do people get tickets to?
That's what they're saying to me, that they're worried about not being able to give me any tickets for my family because of International Fight Week. So I'm guessing it's going to be huge.
But you can't buy them at like the normal channels, like how I got tickets for UFC 290.
Right.
There's no channels. Is it just kind of? I know Dana had mentioned like there's 150 media members. Obviously, it's going to be influencers to get the sport out and things like that. But other than that, how can a regular fan go? Do you guys have any idea?
No idea. I mean, I haven't looked into it a crazy amount, but there's not any talk of anybody getting any more tickets than 2 just for our fighters. So
yeah. And then with powerslap, like there's a stigma out there that it's hurt, that you get hurt. I mean, it's like any other contact sport, isn't it?
Yeah, better. I mean, come on,
What Dan say the other day with the slapnews? You get 130 significant strikes to the head, and they take like 3 slaps. I mean, yeah, I mean,
that's not including your sparring sessions.
Concussions in gyms
every week you get. You know, I'm not taking punches every day, every other day.
I will.
You know,
when does Hoss hit you? Because on the broadcast for your last fight, they had mentioned that you were actually actively sparring. Can you guys talk me through that without giving away any secrets? Obviously, what's known in the public, just kind of throw the ball.
Yeah, I smacked the shit out of him.
Yeah.
Look, put your mouth gear in, learn how to react to a smack. If you don't know when it's coming, you're never going to know when it's coming. So if you're kind of the conversation that we had in the back door there was timing, right? Like, how are you going to pick up any timing if there is none? If you can't figure out when you're going to get hit, you're going to sleep. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like the reaction to the attack. You know what I mean? You count 1, 2, 3, mouth guard. You know,
it's a scary game you play though when you're trying to roll with it. Because
well,
a lot of people
was that call? I couldn't hear you. I'm sorry.
I said, and that's a scary game you play when you're up there trying to roll with it, because you could easily flinch. You call the foul and you're getting smacked again. And a lot of guys are doing it. So the guy I'm fighting, it was 2 fights ago, he flinched all 3 times.
The one that you went viral on, right?
No, he's talking.
My opponent, or my opponent. I just gave it away. So it's hard not to say what's going on.
Look, it's all good.
Yeah,
we didn't give his name.
See, I'm like, there's a guy out there that's a huge fan of power slap, Chocotos from the MMA household. He calls me the TMZ of MMA, and I'm trying not to pull any information that.
Well, so here's the whole thing is listen, you can pretty much say that. I mean, moving on to what you have to get smacked.
Yeah,
you have to train to get hit.
Some of these guys were going up there, they never even been hit before. Like sparring, they've never done MMA. They don't even know what a hit feels like. And you know, like I do, once you get punched in the face, you're like, what am I doing here?
Yeah. What's it like walking out, like in the power slap, in the Apex? I've been in the Apex before. It's a beautiful facility. If MMA fans haven't been there, power slap fans, they haven't been there. If you can make it there, you got to go there. What's it like? Because I heard like when that slap happens, it's like a gunshot going off. Like what is that whole environment like?
Man, feels like home now, but it's like it's surreal. There's people walking around that you watch on TV all day long. even when you go there just for like a meeting or something for an interview, there's people that you like look up to that are walking around, and there's all this stuff on the walls that
Superstars. There's
Yeah.
superstars everywhere.
it's great.
Yeah, I know a lot of the Nelk
Sat next to
boys.
Marvin Vittori. Marvin Vittori came out and just sat down in front of him. It's like, yeah, it's Marvin Vittori. And then I looked over and there's Rich Franklin standing there. I was like, and I'm literally like, Rich, nice to see you. So
I love it. And then
Yeah.
Cole, you did after your bout in the last power slap, you actually shotgunned a beer with the sponsor of Happy Dad, Steve Will Do It. How surreal was that?
Awesome. I knew it was gonna happen one day, but I was pumped. I walked by him and I turned around and he was standing there with a beer. I'm like, oh shit, I almost missed that. No, that's one of my highlights, my top 3 so far.
Well, what are your other 2 highlights then?
Oh, definitely that knockout.
Okay.
And
Go ahead.
I don't know, I picked 3 because I knew there was another one and I can't think of it.
That's all right. If you come run it back if you remember. I want to go.
just look at his child being born would be probably one of them.
No, I think we were talking about power slap.
I know, but I'm
Yeah, this is power slap. We're gonna
It's
get
power
into
slap.
we're gonna get into my main man Cal because I always ask Cole how he's doing and things like that. I just want to like kind of get your guys' 2 cents on the rules because really I want to use this interview because when the event is on, I'm hooked. I want to see what's next, and obviously, is the coin toss the most important thing in the whole bout?
It's very, very important, but it also depends on who it is. So I think the most important thing is who you're facing, really, the capabilities of the person. So I'm not scared to lose in the next coin toss. So I wouldn't say it's the most important thing.
It's not the most important thing. And then the 60-second recovery, like what determines it if the ref stops the fight or the bout versus not? Like what do you have to show them?
So if you go down or you're wobbling everywhere and they'll give you a 10 count. And then when they get the 10, they'll ask you to walk towards them. And if you wobble at all or you look not all there, then they're gonna call it. Also, for the 60 seconds, you have to get back in the box within 60 seconds. So you go over, talk to your coach, chalk up your hands, wipe your face off.
Not 4.
What?
Not 4.5 seconds.
Like me. I forgot to even chalk up my last time. I was so heated.
Yeah. And then your last bout, you had a point deducted. I was reading in the rules after talking to Haas offline today. They said that if your heel comes up from the momentum of the strike, it's considered not a foul, right?
Yes, there's a minor heel lift, which I totally disagree with.
What's considered a minor versus a major? Like I saw one, and I'm uneducated, and I saw one come up that was way more than yours, and I was screaming at my TV.
Yeah, I know. It's crazy. They got to work on it. I don't know what they got to do. Maybe play it back. I mean, if you can't call it right, then you might as well play it back. I mean,
institute like a replay.
Yeah. I mean, they're doing the replays anyway. If there's a questionable call, they will rewatch it, and that's all they got to do. But
yeah, and I mean, power slap is a growing new sport. And there's going to be trials and there's going to be trials and errors, just like with what Haas does with your training. It's gonna take time, but there's a lot of buzz on the street that they're looking at you to be the face of the sport, the face of everything, just because you're good looking, you're aggressive. You are a dynamic personality with a massive, massive story that could, go to the masses. Have you been hearing that buzz? Do you feel any like unnecessary pressure?
I don't feel unnecessary pressure. I mean, I welcome it. But yeah, I do. I've been hearing some stuff like that. I mean, they've been hinting at it, and they've been pushing me a lot. They haven't been pushing everybody, so I don't know. I feel blessed to even be, you know, in that position that they consider me one of them. So I'm ready for it.
Yeah. It's crazy to see that, this area in general is producing athletes. I mean, you have Dwayne in power slap. You have the greatest all-time athlete in mixed martial arts in John Jones. You got Matt Hamill. You got Rashad Evans from around here. Not to mention just all the amazing amateur athletes. You got
you got all those guys. Like,
yes. Solomon just got signed to PFL today.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that's the whole thing is like we kind of get overlooked, right? Like upstate New Yorkers get overlooked. I don't know why that is. I mean, I guess the mecca of it all in striking and the stereotypical Florida, MMA scene and everything else. I mean, there's a lot down there. Don't get me wrong, because I go down there and cross train with a whole bunch of our affiliate schools. But these guys are really putting it on the map for this. That's for sure.
Oh, yeah. I was
they got to fix some things, though, man. The problem with what you were just saying is that the adjustment and the trials and tribulations period that they're going to go through. The problem with that is it's these guys' record that are being smashed. You know what I mean? So, I mean, I hope they get it right a little bit sooner. I hope that some of the stuff becomes a little more professional. I'm not going to bash, but I hope some of this stuff becomes a little bit more mainstream professional.
We're going to keep it out of their calls anyway.
We're not going to. Yeah.
I didn't hear what Cole said. What was that?
We're going to keep it out of their calls anyway. It's not going to the judges anymore. It's not going to, any more fouls. It's going to be clean from here on out.
Just keep it clean, keep it clean. Like he fully accepts the responsibility of that little tiny lift, and it had a little bit of a turn to it, but the turn was well after the arm was gone. So what is that? What is that? It's not like he pivoted when he was hitting. So there's certain things that really do need to be addressed here. Some of the advocation for the fighters and things like that need to be addressed too as well.
Nobody has coaches. They got coaches that they just met that day, or they met a few times, and it's nothing against some of the coaches, but I mean, some of the coaches, they don't know what the hell they're talking about, frankly. I mean, and I'll say that out loud because I think some of them are idiots.
Well, that's what they think. I think with Haas, you kind of have an advantage because he is a striker. He's a striker coach, so you may have a leg up. I mean, being the head of ISKA, it's a pretty big deal, and that's like a tool in your tool belt that you have there where other guys don't. Could it almost be like it's almost such a new sport? People don't know where to go. Like, obviously you said advocacy for the fighters, who like the UFC and powerslap, they might be trying to figure out how it's all going to work. Obviously, there's a big thing out there now about fighter pay and all that, like how the fighters are compensated. But to me, I'm all about the fighters making the most money they can, but I also understand it. I also understand it from a UFC standpoint, a power slap standpoint, that it has to make business sense. It has to fit in the model. So they just don't piss away money like Affliction and some of these other MMA fly-by-night promotions went by. Like the PFL just came out, the salaries were released for PFL, and those salaries, in my opinion, were way lower than the UFC. But because the UFC is the premier brand, they're getting dumped on. Obviously, people love to hate Dana White, which baffles me because without him, without the Fertitta brothers, without Frank Lemoncella, without Erica, there is no UFC. There is no power slap. And
exactly.
I get it.
I get it. I get it. I understand, right? So at some point, though, one of us is going to have to have a discussion. Like, we're going to have to sit down and go, look, okay, no offense to any of their coaches, because I'm not about that. I mean, Ryan Phillips does a great job hyping these guys up, and
Who's Ryan Phillips? Is he just a power slap corporate trainer?
Oh,
He's the king of kings.
He's a slap fighter, but the thing is he got injured, and Dana kept him under the wing because he's pretty good at like hyping up, the sport, which is good. I'm good with that. Like,
He's the exciting thing they needed at the time,
right?
But he's 0-2.
But so now you got two coaches. I love this kid. He's me when I was younger. You have two coaches that these guys have never met. Not one of them knows how to calm him down. Like our goal between eating the shot, because we knew you had to eat the shot. I was in Vegas. Eat the shot, get emotional, let him know, I'm coming, bitch. I'm coming after you. And what happened? He got scared. He even told him, he said, look, I literally pissed myself when you came right back at me and started talking shit. So then he walks away, and he's still on the hype train from himself and the emotion. And I told him when we were talking and training, clear the mechanism. There's got to be a point where you turn that switch off and go to focus fill. He didn't. That coach is not going to know that part of him, not the psychology. Hi, nice to meet you, coleyoung. I never met you a day in my goddamn life. But I'm in charge of your entire future right now. What the fuck? You got your own coach. You got other guys that don't have coaches. Look, you don't have to spend the money, right? I know Dana White's a genius, and he is an absolute genius. He's great for the sports. All these guys, 100% respect to all of that.
Yeah.
But some of these guys that have coaches, look, get behind their coaches, because you know what? We're the ones that are making them who they are.
So why don't they allow the coaches like in MMA to be like ringside for the bouts? Is there a reason for that?
Not a reason for it. They just say no. There's not a reason for it. Every time we ask, they just kind of brush it off. They don't
even want to have the conversation.
Yeah.
So we got to get to the point where we have the conversation, right? Like, not all these guys have coaches. Some of them are training in their garages, which is all good and fine. But you know what? If you want the integrity and you want this to go to a whole different level, you got to have the excitement of the coaches being in there. Some of us are professionals anyway. I can see how they want to probably keep some of the, Tom, Dick, and Harry's, brother is going to show up and make an ass out of himself. But some of us we do this for a living.
But let me ask you boys this. Wouldn't, if say Cole had you in his corner, could that potentially lead to a more entertaining bout?
Yeah, absolutely. Because you know what? I'd have calmed him down after the first hit. Been like, all right, look, now focus. He would have been at his best.
Yeah, and Cole, I'm not picking on you, but
let's pick on him.
The second bout that I saw of you, it looked like you weren't having that follow through. It was almost like it was stopping. Was it because the athlete was prepared for the strike, or was it because of what Haas was saying that you were still on the hype train?
None of my slaps that you've seen that night were my slaps. They were not.
The second one.
The second one was good, but it wasn't it was not 100%.
Well, you got his orbital bone, right?
Yeah. No, it was 100% strength, but not 100% of my technique. Yeah. What I should have done.
Because it was and then what, I don't remember, Trujillo, what is his name?
Trujillo, Robert Trujillo. By the way, nothing against him. I love that guy. He is a good coach. He's better than any of the other coaches. He's actually a fighter. So that goes back to fighting. Right,
but he doesn't know. You don't know
personally.
You don't know them personally. Like, because it's a bond. Then we take Roger Kroll out of Amanda Nunes's corner. We know how that worked, right? Like, so I mean, that's the one thing that, I mean, no disrespect to any of the other coaches, because that's not it at all. I just want him to succeed in this. And I know that his best chance of doing that is with me doing exactly what I'm doing right now.
So are you allowed to get near Dana to give Dana the feedback? Or obviously there's a hierarchy, obviously leadership goes downhill. Obviously Dana's put in positions. He's put in Frank. He's put in Erica.
Yeah, and he has to.
Yeah.
Can you imagine if he had to? Can you imagine? Oof, he's a delegating expert. I am too. Because look, I do the same thing with what I do.
Yeah. And
so I have to do because it takes all the pressure off of me.
Are you able to give anybody feedback? Are you able to get close to the people that make the decisions? Do they even know? Because sometimes in leadership, there's people making decisions that the leaders don't know.
Well, see, here's the thing is, so when he was out back for Power Slap 2, right?
Yeah.
His mother and I were there. I literally walked, I said, I looked at this girl that was in the front when we were coming in and doing all the ID stuff. And I looked at her and I literally knew that it was Erica. I was like, that's Erica. Because all the girls are all like talking to her, about seating and everything else. I could just tell the aura that she carried. Amazing aura. Literally just walked to my seat. I come back and I went up to her and I said, hi, Erica. I'm Cole's coach, Hoss. And she's like, oh, hi, nice to meet you. So that was my opportunity to kind of like break the ice a little bit. Hopefully we can get, you know what I mean? We can get this moving in a little more positive direction.
I might have a little bit more leverage too here soon.
And that's the whole point.
Okay, Cole, what I need you to do, can you slide over a little bit to get in the mic? I'm missing some of your comments. I know Haas is a big smelly guy, but I mean, come on now.
Look at, I just put rub on. I'm good.
I'm closer than him. He just got a loud voice. So what I said was, and pretty soon I should have some leverage to, word my voice and give my opinions on some of the stuff.
Yeah, I mean, you have the legends like in MMA. You could almost be like you're potentially in that same spot as the Chuck Liddells, the Hoist Gracies, the Matt Hughes, the Tito Ortizes, because that's how it was back in the day when MMA. I mean, I was a OG fan back then, but I'm hooked. Obviously, you're a local kid, and we have to support our locals. Even if you disagree with the sport, you got to support our local athletes. Like, I don't give a shit what
I appreciate that.
Yeah, what anybody says. You got to be behind your athletes.
That's Moose. Say hi, Moose.
And then on the who we got in there? Moose! He's got a big fight coming up soon. You ready, son? Are you ready?
Ready, man.
I see it. Is your fight going to be on UFC Fight Pass?
Unified MMA UFC Fight Pass. It should be on there. So,
all right, dude. I'm gonna blow you up. I got to get you on the podcast. I want to get you on and talk to you as well.
Yeah, man.
Hey, real quick. Hey, have you been slapped by Cole?
I don't want that smoke.
What do you say?
He said, I don't want none of that smoke. Because I don't want none of that smoke.
This is for him. This is not for me.
I love it. Moose, my man.
The swagger of his slap. Yeah, he'll slap you, and then like it's the swagger of the swing, and then you seen the guy, he went.
It's a screwball. It's a screwball. If I'm at that bout, I'm gonna be like, let me see the screwball. Let me see the screwball. So Cole, getting back to it, obviously on the first broadcast, Michael Bisping mentioned, you got into power slap to help your son. Cal has a rare disease. Can you talk about that for people who don't know?
Yeah. So he has a condition disorder called CDG. It's congenital disorders of glycosylation, and it's so new. There's only 800 in the whole world, so it's like super rare. So not many people know about it. Don't even know what to think about it. I'm still learning about it because when I go to the doctor's office, because he goes to the hospital quite often, a lot of times they don't even know what to do about it. So that's what he's going through.
And are you getting, obviously being from Rochester, you have amazing hospitals in Strong, General, Unity around here. Is that where you take him, or do you have to go somewhere specialized?
No, in the future we might go like to Mayo Clinic, it's called.
Yep.
But right now he can't receive treatment there until he's 2 years old, and he also has to have a healthy liver. They're doing clinical trials over there. But we started in Buffalo,
Yep.
at the Children's Hospital, but Rochester's closer, and they do just as good as a job. So we started going to Rochester.
Okay.
Yep.
And where can people go to learn about this if they wanted to support Cal or support the hospital that you guys are going to maybe potentially help somebody else that's going through the same thing that you and your wife are going through? Where can they go? Is there information that people want to learn a little bit more about that?
That's the thing. You can get online. There's so many different strains of it. There's type 1, type 2, B, blah blah blah, and like you look it up and there's a lot of misinformation. So when Cal was diagnosed with it, they just gave us a huge packet and they said don't look up anything online.
I get that.
So there's not really anywhere you can go, and that's like the hard part about it, really, is not knowing.
Yeah, I can only imagine, what you guys are going through. Our prayers are with you, your wife, your son. I'm thankful that your son looks like your wife for sure as well. But, I wish him nothing but the best. Anything that we can do to support him, to support you guys, don't ever hesitate to reach out. And I know, has Dana or any of those guys talked to you about that, like Bisbing or Dan? Was it Dan Healy? Holly?
Yeah.
Have
Dan,
any
he's
of
an
those
awesome guy.
guys? Yeah, have any of those guys? Because the UFC, like, there's a lot of things like that aren't out there in the press that they're like very, very giving. One of my buddies was on the active roster, and he had a neck surgery, and the UFC paid for it all.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah, they paid for it completely, all, no questions asked. But they're very giving with things of that nature. I was just wondering, because you have that power behind you. Me personally, from what I know, and I don't know a lot, but don't be afraid to ask for help with those guys, because those guys have big, big hearts.
Yeah. No, I'm not an asker, but
Yeah.
no, I haven't heard any word on that kind of stuff yet. But who knows?
Yeah.
I'm just gonna stay a part of them, and
Yeah.
I think they care though.
What's that?
Yeah,
buddy?
They've definitely put out enough awareness through their own pockets just by doing the interviews with Cole.
yeah,
and
they've promoted me a lot, like a lot
promotion.
more than other people, and also
Got to respect that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Just in the awareness of it all.
Yeah, and there's value there in the promotional standpoint of getting your brand out. I know they mentioned you have your own taxidermy business and things like that. Have you seen any residual from that?
like any like lashing out.
Like
Yeah,
people
like
Oh
business.
no. And you know
you
what?
did
though?
get a phone call today.
Yeah, I've been working my butt off in the taxidermy lately.
I'm talking
Yeah.
about
Oh
your
yeah.
Speed goat.
Yeah, I did. I got a phone call today from a professional like TV show or hunting TV show, outdoor channel.
Okay.
Yeah, Antler Ice Outdoors. Yeah, he was on the phone with me today. He invited me to go on a pronghorn hunt in Colorado with him.
That's what I said. I was like, yeah, that's nothing. Like, yeah.
And don't you take your wife and son out with you? I think I've seen some pictures on your Instagram when I was looking. You take them out. Is Cal your good luck charm? Actually, go ahead.
I'm my own good luck charm, but I
want the horse, man.
I stole his horseshoe, he says. But
Okay.
No, I take him as many places as I can. It's hard to. I go on a lot of hunting trips. That was just one of them that we were able to take him on and just enjoy some family time together.
Yeah. Who's a better good luck charm, Cal or your wife? Or Hoss?
I don't know. I consider my he gave me a golden horseshoe one day, literally.
When he went to Colorado.
Yeah, but he gave me it because I was already lucky.
So going back to the power slap on July 7th. Do you know how many bouts are going to be on that card?
Not certain. I am not certain. I know that
We've seen a lot of posts with guys begging to be on that card,
literally begging.
the guys that have already been on like prelim cards and things like that. You know, get me back in there, get me back in there.
Yeah. I mean, it's a massive weekend. And Cole, I'm telling you right now, you get knockout of the night or something, call your shot and see if you can get 2 tickets for you and Haas to go to UFC 290.
He's like, do it.
I'm telling you right now that I'm totally looking forward to it. I told you guys this offline, but the night of your fight, I actually have Kevin Hart tickets. But when Haas and I saw Slap News come out with the bout and I saw you on there, I'm like, oh my God, like Power Slap. And like, obviously, I want to be there to support you being a local guy as well in the media. And
Just feel the energy of the place because it's unreal.
I can only imagine from what it seems like. I watch like Max Crosby, Michael Chandler, all those guys out in the crowd, that it's unbelievable, the reactions. Like even my buddy Chaka Toast, he goes, it's amazing.
Well, the weird thing is like, so we've like, you go to fights, right? And it's just loud, right? This place, they come out, the judges, you can hear the judges like, or the refs talking, and then it's like dead quiet, and then wow, it's like wow, and everybody erupts. It's like nothing I've ever felt before. It's pretty wild.
And that's what I told my girlfriend's mad at me. She goes, "You're going to be selfish. You're going to do whatever you want." I go, "Well, it's actually a hometown kid, and we got to be there in his corner and cheering him on." So
laying it up, just painting it.
I'm trying. I somehow, if I gotta, if I have to buy a $700 UFC Fan Expo ticket and just harass the Power Slap people to hook me up, I'm gonna do it. Whatever it needs to be. But after July 7th, what's your expectation? What would be next for you, Cole?
Oh,
title shot?
Oh yeah, for sure.
This is number one shot. So
yeah, I actually, I don't know if you know this, I signed a contract for the champion already.
You already have a championship bout contract?
I had signed it. And Anthony Blackburn took that place because the champion failed the drug test. He's suspended till September.
Blackburn took the shot, or he had the contract and he lost because
he had the contract. The contract was already for Cole to go against Chris Thomas. Yeah.
Yep. Chris Thomas.
And then obviously the Nevada Athletic Commission came in because certain paperwork wasn't filed or something.
It was a dumb situation. It wasn't his fault at all.
Yeah. Also, it wasn't like he was pissing hot or anything. No. It was just literally, it was failure. You know how pro paperwork goes. There's a lot, and they want it all. So he messed up on one of the paperwork, so he got suspended from it. Some of the other guys, they pissed hot for, performance enhancing drugs and things of that nature, but it wasn't Chris. Yeah. So
that's why he has the belt still.
Yeah, much respect to Chris,
Yeah, shout out to Chris. He actually sent my son a floaty last night.
Oh, you're kidding.
In the mail, yeah. He said from Uncle KO Chris.
What a dick.
He's a good guy.
What's your going real quick? What's your son Cal's favorite things?
He loves his parents. He loves spending time. Like if you walk away from him and he's on the ground, he will start crying. But his favorite things is like definitely watching your phone or TV.
His face off the floor.
Yeah, because he can't really hold himself up too good. So he's stationary. He can't he loves being outside. If you take him outside, he's calm. He loves it.
Awesome. And so Chris Thompson, is it harder to win the title in Power Slap, or is it harder to defend?
I think the data's not there yet.
Yeah, it's not.
It's kind of like the coin toss thing, right? Like it's still early, right? And 9 out of 12 got knocked out on Power Slap 1 in the first. You know what I mean?
Pretty soon the roster is going to be full. Right now it's not. Right now there's a bunch of sheep.
Bunch of guys that are going to be able to take hits, give hits. I mean, there's some good ones though. There are some good ones. I mean, you can't take like a Wolverine who I just watched Bell crack and crack and crack. And he took the shots and he just stood back up and stood back up. I mean, amazing. It's really amazing. Some of these guys are made to be here, and some of them, I think it's a weaning process.
Besides Cole, I'm a huge fan of AJ Hints. How good is he?
It's awesome. Actually, he reached out to me the other day too about Cal, my son Cal, saying like, "Hey man, you should start like a GoFundMe or whatever." He's like, "I would love to donate some of my next purse to you." And I don't know. He's like one of the only ones to reach out and like say something like that. But I get along with him while I'm there, and yeah, he's exciting.
Yeah, I personally think, Cole, knowing the promotion that you're in and things, and you said you're not an asker. Don't be a closed mouth never gets fed, right? Don't be afraid to ask, because your story is so powerful and people will do anything for your son, Cal. I'm pretty sure that, especially in that organization, for sure, based on just years of knowing like what goes on there. Even here locally, you're a full contact promotions alum. Don't be afraid to reach out to Bubba, which I'm going to have a personal conversation with Bubba after this and see what we can do. Because anything to help, even if it means giving him a hunting trip with you, so he has everything, you guys can go do that together. I think I saw you guys with a trout too. Is that right?
What's that?
You guys had a fit.
They just
right?
left the hospital and they stopped at a fishing hole, and yeah, it's crazy.
The boys get it in no matter what.
Oh yeah,
they're on the way.
He was
home.
in my arm and I was catching him. Yeah.
I love it.
You know,
but go ahead.
Hey, it's really about living. You know what I mean?
That's what it's all about.
It's about living. Yeah. Let's talk about the elephant in the room. We don't know how long. So, that being said,
that's what it is.
Whatever it is, you know what? I take Colton. He has autism. I take him and I push him in the cage. He goes in there now. It's what we can do for our children is to push them into to live life with them and care about them, is because you never know what tomorrow brings anyway for any of us. So
amen.
I commend him as being and Alyssa for being the parents that they are. A lot of people are like, "Oh, you just left the hospital and you're going to take him fishing?" Like, no, they didn't. They literally were on their way home and they took him fishing. You know what I mean? Spending weeks in the hospital at a time. Leave them alone. Yeah. Leave them alone. Let them be parents. You know what? I would kill to have him as a parent.
I definitely agree. And I was talking with you, Cole, and we had an interview set up for another time. And you're like, "Look, I'm in the hospital," and I told you, I go, "Don't worry about me. I'm low priority. Cherish every moment with your son, like your coach Haas said right there. That is number one. Cherish every moment, and hopefully he can get to an event out in Vegas for a power slap and see his father compete, because that energy that he would bring."
It's one of my favorite pictures of Cal is he's got his headphones on and he's in his car seat while Cole was fighting that night. Got his headphones on and he's just chilling in the car seat. And I said, and I'd literally say, our family has no height requirement.
Hopefully, Power Slap 4, Cal should be along there for the title fight.
I'm loving it. Do they have a date for Power Slap 4 yet, or no?
No, they don't. They're literally organizing as they go. It's like
because
all last minute
no one knew this was coming.
No, we thought maybe September was the next one.
August, September.
And
honestly, that makes perfect sense. Being International Fight Week, Dana said 15,000 fans. Should be a hell of a lot more that just come for the expo. I mean, the T-Mobile Arena will be completely sold out for UFC 290, which, by the way, Dana, if you're watching this, if Cole gets knocked out of the night, make sure you give him and his head coach 2 tickets.
That would be nice.
Give
all exclusive. All exclusive.
No, you know what? Tell Dana you want to sit at his table. In Dana's section.
I'd
be happy just, a couple rows back. We're good.
Everybody's met him. And had a picture with him. I haven't met the guy yet. I shook his hand after I knocked that guy out, and that is it.
Dana, so I might make you mad. You may never talk to me again. So we were at UFC Charlotte a couple of weeks ago, and we were right against the rail. What?
Yeah, we saw the pictures.
I didn't.
His wife's like, Hey, it's Dana.
Oh, she was all geeked up for that picture with Dana. He had to take 100 pictures at that moment, like walking through everybody and stuff. And it was just
The boss, man. Like, it's the boss. I mean, he's built the UFC the way it's, to the level that it is. I mean, he's got Fight Island. I mean, the guy's started out just like I did. I literally am in like a broom closet. But you know what? This is the sickest broom closet ever. And I don't care. I train killers here.
yeah. Oh, I know you got killers with Hickson, Victoria Cramp. Hey, Cole, what did you think of Victoria's fight back at Rage in the Cage with Ava Chochi?
That was awesome. Fight of the night. I mean, it was a banger. She did a great job. They're both killers. I'm surprised because I know how she's got some freaking power, like guy power.
She got her kicks if she gets to the point where she sets her kicks up the right way. I'm going to tell you right now, when I'm explaining something to one of the students or something, I'm like, and I have Tori show it on me, and I go to block, and I'm like, whoa. I'm like, I literally think in the back of my head, oh my fucking God.
Yeah.
Like, I wouldn't want to be kicked by that.
If she would have created her space a little bit in that fight, she got a little space, gave a little bit more room for her punches, man. Could have been different, but
Her
did a great job.
Her kicks are.
No, nobody has kicks like her.
It's unreal. And she hasn't even showcased them yet at all. Like, if she hits solid, they're going down. I don't like getting kicked by her, period.
So
that's not even joking. I'm not even kidding. Like, I don't care getting kicked. Moose kicks me and punches me in the face. Hickson,
I agree.
It's just a different weight to it. Anyway, yeah.
Now, is Victoria going to be on either one of those cards?
I don't know. We're figuring all that stuff out right now. I talked to Bubba a little bit about it earlier. I was actually under the gym toilet at the time because you got a business to run and little kids like to clog toilets. So I was like, "Can I call you later?" Him and I banter back and forth because it's kind of the relationship that we've had over the years. I mean, obviously, I put killers into the cage and put on shows because that's what my fighters do. Like, I don't care if they win or lose. My mantra: get in there, get your experience, but you will go out on that shield. I do not care. You're not going to get tired. You're going to get in there and you're going to bang. And that's why it says we bang across the wall, because that's if you're not going to get in there and do that, you don't belong in there.
Yeah. And Cole, you're in a really good camp. When I first met your whole team, I met them at the Rage in the Cage 22 at the Bill Gray's Iceplex. You got a ton of killers there. I definitely, if you're able to, your wife, you, Cal, definitely come out and be our guest to the Attica show. We'll get you right at a nice table. Maybe even sit cage side with me, kind of do a little in-ring interview and things like that at the Attica show. There should probably be a lot of people there. Probably 5 minutes or whatnot, but we should do something having you there. And I want to talk to Bubba, see if there's anything we can do for you guys. We can talk about this offline, but I definitely want to get that out there.
If it helps Cal and anything like that in the family, and there's nothing better in service. That's what we are anyway. We're in service to fighters as it is. Talking about it, living it.
There's a lot of people in our community that will be willing to help you. I know a lot of influential people out here in Batavia and Oakfield and Elba that would be willing to help you. I guess the biggest thing to take, and then I'll let you guys, we'll wrap this up, is don't be
afraid. Look at the elites are out there right now running like a 75 digit code off of each other back and forth. 75 different, like a giant code, because I have codes for all strikes. So it's the whole board is full of code, and they got it memorized to a T right now.
Is it all baseball terminology?
Well, you know how boxing's got 1 through 6, right? And then you have you got your step offs and your drop steps and everything else, your pull counters. I have it all the way to spinning wheel kicks. If I yell a number and they know what it is, if it's set up right, it'll be sent. You'll hear us. You'll hear 102, 102. You know what I mean? And And everybody in the crowd's probably going, "What is 102?"
Yeah. Well, let me ask you this now. Now, going back to the power slap thing, is there different strikes, Cole, that you can use, or is there just one strike?
We're learning that there is more than one. Well, you're gonna see me throwing a different one this next time.
You will. Yes, you will.
There's one correct one.
As long as you're not jacked up from getting swatted in the face.
Yeah. How bad is that smack hurt?
The one that I got smacked with?
Which one?
Just yeah, just in general, from even in training with Haas or in competition.
Those ones with the headgear hurt worse than the ones in event. I think maybe it's due to the adrenaline, but all that I felt, the only sense that I had when I got smacked that day, that got slapped, I heard a thud. That's it. I heard a thud. I didn't feel nothing.
Very good. Boys, it's been great. I'm gonna put this on pause in a second, but I just want to recap. We're here with Hosscoates, the director, the head director of ISKA, Coleyoung, currently the number 4 ranked power slap athlete in the welterweight division in Dana White and Company's brand new slap fighting promotion. Cole's next bout, who, if the Salus of the power slap listen to this interview, they should probably find out who it is. If they do, make sure you give me credit because I have no idea who it is. But
we know.
We talk offline. The show is going to be July 7th at the UFC Apex in Las Vegas during International Fight Week. Massive opportunity. Cole, if you get any type of merch, let me know. I would love to support you.
It's for the interim, so that's what we'll tell you. It's for the interim.
Because can Thomas not defend the title for whatever reason?
Still suspended.
Still suspended, but it's still for the interim. Him and the other guy are going for the interim spot. So basically, is what it is. This is going to be for the title shot. So
this will be for the title shot, and then when does he come off suspension?
September 6th.
So and this guy was because his paperwork was jacked up, right?
Yep.
That's crazy to me. But all right, boys. Go ahead, Cole.
No, I said it is crazy. And hey, I'll get you a shirt.
No, just tell me. I want to pay you for it. I don't want anything for.
Let me guess.
I want if you're going to give it to me free, I'm still going to pay you and then give it to Cal. So Cal can whatever he wants, with it. But July 7th at the UFC Apex, I'm hoping to be there. I'm hoping Erica or Frank or somebody can come up for me.
It'll be on Rumble.
But here's the problem: is these damn comedy shows. They take your stupid cell phone and they put it in a bag and they lock the thing up and you can't get it until after the show. And it's so annoying. So I can't sneak out to watch my man Cole's bout, which blows even more.
Yeah, you can't go there.
That sucks.
Yeah, that's why I'm saying I need somebody to help a brother out.
Hey, I'm gonna do my best. I'm gonna do my best when they call me.
Hey, what I'm saying to you, Cole, is obviously take care of your family first, take care of your coaches first, way before me. I got a couple things, but I want to be there because I want to support you and I want to talk shit.
All right.
I want to talk mad shit.
Yeah.
But I appreciate the time, boys. Sit tight and I'll come right back. All right.
Thanks for having us.
All right, boys.